Good morning, all. It's Caramel Crimson, aka Mystic Says. And hold on one second. I forgot about the music. I always do that because I'm typically listening to music. Anyway, that was the great Music Soul Child and Mary J. Blige, like two of my favorites. Well, music is actually one of my hometown friends, and that song is produced by two of my other friends, Carmen Haggins and Ivan Barrios. If you haven't heard of them, it's Carmen and Ivan's, Carmen Productions, and all that good stuff. But anyway, that has nothing to do with what I wanted to talk to you about. I just thought I'd say that. But I am coming to you today from the beach. That's right. Yes, it's December and I am at the beach, so that's kind of cool. So I just want to take a walk outside and maybe we can get a look at the waves and stuff, and you guys can kind of have a little retreat with me today. So let's go see if we can capture those waves. So, hopefully you can see this. I don't know if you can. I'm hoping you guys can see the beach, and there's people walking out there, and there's some seagulls and whatnot. But if you can't, well, I will look at it later. But anyway, so it's kind of noisy out here and it's really windy, so we're gonna go back indoors for a minute so I can talk to you about what I want to talk to you about today. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is, rejuvenation. And so, I'm at my little retreat for a couple of days, and I'm here with my mastermind group and Millionaire Society. Let me take my glasses off. And, we're doing some great stuff. We're kind of brainstorming some new ideas for 2013. And we're also, working on making sure we're all finishing off the year strong. But what I really wanted to talk to you about today is, oh my gosh, I just love this. I just absolutely love it. So it's kind of cool that in December when it's cold and I should be all bundled up and whatever, but I'm not. So anyway, let me close this because there's airplanes flying over. Okay, that's better. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is, rejuvenating and taking time for yourself, especially, all you moms, if you're a stay-at-home mom or a work-at-home mom, or you just have you have to go to a job every day kind of mom, or even if you're not a mom, even if you're a woman, and just being a woman kind of puts you in that position, because even if you're not a mother, we are nurturing. We're nurturing by nature. So for the most part, we typically tend to give so much of ourselves to everyone else that a lot of times we forget to take care of ourselves. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Even if, and this goes out for you guys too, because I know a lot of guys that do a lot of great stuff. I know some awesome stay-at-home dads, and I know some men that really, really work hard, and sometimes you guys don't take time for yourself, but I'm really just trying to focus on the fact that you need to take some time out for yourself to rejuvenate yourself and to refresh yourself. And like I said, I'm on my little retreat and it's great. And, I'm going to go for a walk on the beach a little bit later. Once I get done shooting this video, I'm taking that little walk on the beach, and I got on my, as you can see, got on my little bathing suit stuff under here, so I may go for a swim later, but definitely not in the water, because as my godfather, spiritual godfather, Ivy Hilliard, says, that is not a controlled environment. So I may be going for a swim later in the pool. But I just wanted to talk to you, it's so important for you to take that time out for yourself. And I know, I recognize the fact that everyone cannot just pick up, and go to the beach. I totally get that. We can't always just do whatever we want to do. This is real life. I'm fully aware of that. But there's some things that you can do, to rejuvenate yourself and to renew yourself, and those are the things that you have to do. Like when my kids were little, and my twins were, remember, I'm a mom, I have 6 kids. So when my twins were babies, it was really hard for me to find time for myself, until we got the nanny. And even then, I still, just because you have a household help, or you have a nanny, or even if you have your mom or your family or whoever there to help you with your kids, you're still that primary caregiver, for most of us. So it was really hard for me to take time for myself, just to go and do something for myself. So what I used to do, and these are little tips that you can use. I always like to give you, practical advice that you can use right now, right where you are, no matter what is going on in your life, whether you're a bazillionaire or whether, you're just on the other side of broke, busted, and disgusted. Listen, until you can control your mind and rejuvenate yourself, you have to do these things. So let me give you a little analogy, metaphor, whatever it is, because my daughter says I always get whichever one it is wrong. But so imagine yourself as you are a picture. Okay, so I heard this somewhere a long time ago, and I don't know who said it. So if you know who said it, give them the credit, because I don't know. But imagine yourself, we have, like, as women, we have what we call our love cup, right? So that means that you're like a container. So think of yourself as a container, think of a container like orange juice. Okay, so you are the contents of that container. So let's say your life represents the container and you are the contents of the container. So you're the orange juice. Okay, so now what we tend to do is we pour some, we pour some out for the kids, and we pour some out for the husband, and we pour some out for the job, and we pour some out for the charities, and we pour some out for the PTA, and we pour some out for the church, and we pour some out for the community, and we pour some out for our moms and dads, and God only knows what else we're pouring out, but we are constantly emptying that container. We're constantly emptying our love cup. So what's going to happen if you always pour out but you never refill? You're going to run empty. And then guess what? You're not going to have anything in you to give to anyone. Not to your husband, not to your children, not to your business, not to your job, not to your church. All those places that I mentioned that we're constantly pouring out. There goes another plane. I wish I was on the plane. I love to fly. But anyway, so we're constantly pouring out. And if you don't take that time to refill yourself, you're going to be empty. And that's not a good place to be. So let me give you some practical tips that you can use right now. When my twins were little, I used to get up super duper early on Saturday mornings, and I would go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'd get some coffee, I'd get a bagel, I'd get in my car, and I would go to the park. And I would just sit in the park for several hours. I would take my journal, because I love to journal. So I would take my journal, I would take my Bible, I would have some teaching CDs with me. I would, have whatever, my music sometimes, just whatever made me feel like really good that day, and I would do that. And then another thing that I used to do is I love sushi. So on a Friday night, like my ex-husband, he would be out, God only knows where. We had things that he did on a Friday night, I don't know, but anyway, so I would usually be kind of hanging out by myself on a Friday night. The kids would be doing stuff, so I would go and I would get sushi, and I would get my favorite, the cream maki sushi. I'd get me some sushi, maybe a little glass of plum wine, and I'd sit there and I'd eat my sushi, and I'd like to go to the Chinese restaurant because they had the flames and all that cool stuff going on. So I'd sit there at the counter, sushi bar thing, and I'd eat my sushi, and then I'd take myself to the movie. So whatever movie I wanted to see that the husband didn't want to see, the kids didn't want to see, I would go see it by myself. And I like my own company, so that was never an issue. I'd go to like an IHOP, early on a Saturday morning to take a book and write and journal and things like that. So you have to make time, is my point. I would go to like a Barnes & Noble, I don't even know, whichever one, it was just a bookstore, pick one, and I'd get a cup of coffee if they have a little Starbucks and sit there and read and write and whatever. You have to do these things so you can fill yourself up, so you have something to give back to your kids and your husband and your business and your whatever, your significant other. You have to do these things for yourself because it's important. And I love being by the water because it's so rejuvenating and refreshing, and that's why you feel so good after you take that bath or that shower or whatever, because water is very rejuvenating. So anytime you can get around some water, do that. Even if it's just getting like one of those little desk fountain things, put it on your desk. Okay, so those are my tips for today. I'm getting ready to go out here to the beach. Oh man, you guys, I wish you could be here.